exciting news. With lockdowns in most countries in Africa, the downturn in tourism seems to be increasing.
It is believed that the number of international tourist arrivals will fall by 20 to 30% in 2020 due to the novel coronavirus, putting millions of jobs at risk.
Well, joining us now to discuss the impact of COVID-19 on African tourism is Abigail Olagbaye. She is the African Tourism Board Ambassador. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Abigail. If you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Oh, great to have you. I guess it's sensible not to think that anybody would want to travel at a time like this. Although countries are beginning to ease their lockdowns, can you hazard a guess of how coronavirus would impact tourism, even after this pandemic?
Thank you. The impact is, it has been phenomenal, and it will continue to be like this for a while, for a long while. And, African countries should brace up for this impact. And we have to begin to look inwards and look at our products, look at how we can rebrand our products, look at how we can, bring our products into the virtual space so that we can still keep the conversation going, the narrative going, and keep the interest alive.
Tourism Board, in fact, you're the ambassador of the African Tourism Board, a representative to Nigeria. You're former, Miss Tourism. What will you say will be the role of African Tourism Board in, advocating for the increase in tourism activities when the economy finally starts open in Africa?
Okay, well, the role of the African Tourism Board is a very significant role. Already we're in talks with most governments in Africa, and we have a set of recommendations which we call the Hope Plan, and which we hope that each country can look at and adapt, look at and redesign and bring it into their local space, into their peculiar economy, the peculiar tourism industry, and design what works for them. And basically the Hope Plan is what we recommend in the Hope Plan is basically for each country to budget or to allocate 10% of their GDP to the development or the recovery of the tourism sector. So that role is quite significant, and we're already in talks with most governments in Africa.
A catalyst for triggering recovery and also boost the stimulation of growth in the tourism sector, as identified by analysts, is one where people should start to look at promotion of domestic travel and intra-African tourism. Now, we do know that even before COVID-19 hit, people would complain that traveling within Africa is even more expensive than going overseas. Now, as the board ambassador and someone that's looking at the impact of COVID-19 on tourism, would you say that this is something that should be focused on?
Absolutely, it should be focused on, and we should look at how we can make it easier for tourists to travel around Africa. How African governments should look at more of relaxing border controls and making it easier for tourists to access tourism products. Apart from the issue of digital tourism, when after this pandemic, after this episode of a pandemic, the governments or the authorities, that handle tourism should basically look at how to make it easier, and they should call a stakeholders meeting and involving the aviation sector and see how to bring up policies, because basically if we're talking about high cost of travel in Africa, definitely it's due to the cost of operation in the aviation sector. So one should look at how to make it easier for the aviation sector to run its operations, basically.
Well, tourism, unlike other sectors, depends largely on social interaction, and there's a debate as to how to ease these lockdowns across the globe. Some say, tourism should take a back seat while there isn't this lockdown. What side of the debate are you on? Should we relegate tourism, or should we open up domestic tourism while we leave international arrivals for a later date?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, we're looking at how we should have more tourism products offered virtually, more of digital tourism. And you mentioned domestic tourism. Definitely, tourism shouldn't take a back seat. It's a component of Africa's major component of Africa's economy. So definitely we should look at how we can sustain that component of Africa's economy. Domestic tourism definitely is a major thing to look at. Yes, international tourism. Well, for that, we can say that it might take a while before one builds confidence.
Okay.
And
all right,
yeah.
Abigail, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Much appreciated. And that